Good, happy Friday evening. It is Friday, October 8th, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, Dartmouth Hitchcock. More than 99% of employees comply with vaccine requirement. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
There'll be hogs and goats and geese and sheep and all the chowder you can eat in a big parade with floats and marching bands.
Well, Dartmouth Hitchcock Health says this requirement is happening to protect the health and well-being of its patients, their families, the hospital and network staff, and the community. So next month, September 30th, all employees must be vaccinated for COVID-19. The requirement will apply to all workers, including people working remotely and per diem. Staffers will be required to submit documentation that they have been fully vaccinated, or they will have to obtain and approve an approved medical or religious exemption through an established process. Now, Dr. Joanne Conroy, President and CEO, says this decision has been in the works for some time, but a recent outbreak on Cape Cod and new data about the virus sped up that process.
Provincetown gave us really compelling evidence. There were close to 900 people infected. 74% of them were vaccinated. Only 7 people were hospitalized and nobody died. That's pretty impressive. So we learned a lot from that experience, and I think that tipped us into considering that to lead in public health, we really need to make it mandatory throughout our facilities.
And now Dartmouth Hitchcock Health already has a similar protocol in place for flu shots. In the meantime, here in Concord, the New Hampshire Hospital Association says it supports this move, and it's urging other local hospitals to follow suit. Reporting live in Concord, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Active COVID-19 cases rise to more than 4,000 again in New Hampshire. No new COVID-19 deaths in New Hampshire were announced Friday, but active cases again increased to more than 4,000, state health officials said. There are 4,119 active cases of COVID-19 in New Hampshire. Cases were last above 4,000 on September 17th. Health officials announced 568 new positive test results Friday, along with additional positive tests from earlier in the week. Of the newly announced cases, 30.4% were in children under 18, the third day in a row that percentages has been over 40%. No new deaths were announced Friday. There have been 1,497 deaths attributed to COVID-19 in New Hampshire over the course of the pandemic. Hospitalizations remain steady, with 130 current COVID-19 hospitalizations in the state. Prosecutors recommended home confinement for New Hampshire man who entered Capitol on January 6th. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
There'll be hogs and goats and geese and sheep and all the chowder you can eat in a big parade with floats and marching bands. Horses, cows, and tractor pulls, the world's largest prime-eye bull, and chicks and ducks and kids and cotton candy. Hooray for the fair, that little sandwich fair.
The Sandwich Fair, always the last fair of the season, and always Columbus Day weekend in Center Sandwich, New Hampshire.
These pictures show Thomas Gallagher inside the Capitol on January 6th. According to the U.S. Attorney's sentencing memorandum, the FBI uncovered no evidence that Gallagher engaged in violent or disruptive conduct. In fact, one of the pictures shows Gallagher admonishing another person who picked up a chair. That person then put down the chair. Gallagher has no previous criminal record, which was noted by both the prosecution and the defense. The defense also stating in their memorandum he has no association to any militia or right-wing militant groups, and he entered the U.S. Capitol as part of the crowd on a whim. Back in July, Gallagher pled guilty to a single misdemeanor count of parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a restricted building. While the U.S. Attorney's Office refers to January 6th as a criminal offense unparalleled in American history, it goes on to say that Gallagher expressed great remorse for his actions, writing in a letter, "I regret my lack of judgment beyond anything I have ever felt." Acknowledging that, the U.S. Attorney says, while the need to deter what happened in general on January 6th favors incarceration, the facts of Gallagher's specific case favor a more lenient sentence. The U.S. Attorney's Office is recommending that the judge sentence Gallagher to 1 month of home confinement, probation, 60 hours of community service, a fine, and $500 in restitution. Gallagher is also asked to be sentenced in person to show that he accepts responsibility for his actions. In the studio, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire Attorney General says taking federal COVID-19 vaccine funding does not bind state to board directives. A memo to governor addresses concerns raised by some GOP lawmakers and executive counselors. Take a look at this article right here. And if you want to see this article again, we will have a link for you on the Riley King Network Facebook page after this broadcast. And as you know, it is a holiday weekend. This Monday is Columbus Day, this coming Monday. So it'll be a holiday weekend and a lot of leaf peeping. People will be coming for this beautiful holiday weekend. Let's take a look at the New Hampshire foliage for this weekend. Take a look.
Walmart, America's largest, is hiring. Earn up to $28 per hour plus benefits working at Walmart's distribution center. Get a $5,000 sign-on bonus, but hurry, you must be hired before October 24th. Apply online today or text DC to 240-240. Walk-ins welcome.
Fall foliage continuing to develop and brighten the atmosphere across the Granite State as we go forward. You're going to notice the average date of the peak. We are likely lagging behind by about a week to 10 days in most locations. I think we owe that to, less cooler evenings as we've gone through the last few weeks. A couple of spots are going to be running late on their first frost. We had, of course, all the rain back in July and the warmer temperatures, a top 10 warmest August, and then we had temperatures about 2 degrees above normal in September. So I think the combination of all of that has put the peak just a little bit later by about a week to 10 days. So here's what we're seeing right now as far as current foliage is concerned. We are running near peak, even right around peak as you go up through Coos County, and that is the expectation headed into the weekend, while we'll be looking at anywhere between about a half change to about 2/3 change from portions of the Upper Valley in the Monadnock region to just north of the Lakes region, the White Mountains, and up through the Mount Washington Valley. Of course, some of that is elevation dependent, and while these are very general lines, town by town, they could differ quite a bit. But you can see the general trend here near or at peak in northern parts of the state with a lot less color in far southeastern areas. But again, color is going to continue to evolve here just over the next couple of weeks. The ideal foliage, temperatures in the 60s, lows at night into the 40s. That is where your 7-day forecast is headed as we get toward the holiday weekend. Get out and enjoy the foliage.
Okay, and there you go. So get out there and enjoy it. You heard it there. Airlines expect travel surge around holidays. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Done. I'm done.
Get a insanely fast offer on your car in 2 minutes or less.
With that increase in the number of people eligible to be vaccinated, well, one of the factors that's going to go into play when we're talking about a massive increase in holiday travel. Airlines preparing to return to near pre-pandemic passenger levels. Our transportation correspondent, Gio Benitez, and live at Newark Airport for us. And Gio, folks better get on those tickets.
Oh, they better, TJ. Good morning to you. Yeah, we are looking at more flights during the pandemic than at any other time during the pandemic, during the holidays. Take a look at this right now, because United Airlines telling us that it plans to fly 3,500 domestic flights in December. That's every single day. That's almost as many flights in the air as there were back in 2019. Now, for a little perspective, just look at April 2020. That's right at the start of the pandemic. Very few passengers flying, just 649 flights a day. And when you look at flight searches, United is seeing 16% more searches than before the pandemic. Florida and ski resorts, of course, are still the top destinations this winter. And you better buy those tickets right now. Our friends over at Hopper tell us that after Halloween, Thanksgiving ticket prices could jump by, listen to this, 40%, TJ.
For Halloween, that is scary. But Gio, we were talking about more and more airlines putting vaccine mandates in place. Some employees were still refusing to get the vaccine. So could we possibly look at some shortages when it comes to enough workers, and could that cause some problems for passengers?
So look, here's what we know right now, TJ. United Airlines, they were the first to mandate those vaccines. 99% of the staff got the shot. Now, some of the other airlines, they are just starting to mandate those vaccines right now. And experts really do believe that most of the employees will get the shot, TJ.
All right, Gio, appreciate your updates as always. Thanks so much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Friday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye.